Today I want to talk to you guys about this, my DJI Digital FPV remote. Now if you've seen my other videos you might have seen that I ended up actually breaking it and snapping one of the cables inside. Now I had a couple of choices. One option was to send it into DJI for repair and the other one was take a look myself. In the end I decided to delve into it and have a good look at how the board is actually set up. I couldn't actually get a replacement ribbon cable, but what we've actually been able to do is replace individual cables and get the remote controller mostly working. And the reason I say mostly is whilst it isn't 100%, I do now have at least 3 mode switches working, and I also have the controls for the goggles working as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is give you guys just an overview of what I've ended up doing and showing you some of the connections on the main board of this as well. Now I didn't intend to film this originally, so some of the footage is a little bit scrappy. However, it'll give you an idea of what we've actually ended up doing. Anyway, let's get on with it and take a look at what I've ended up doing. Just to give you guys an overview of what actually went wrong, I did a video showing you how to swap the stick mode on your DJI Digital FPV remote from mode 2 to mode 1 by swapping over the fittings. And whilst doing this, there was an accidental slip and I managed to catch the cable that went from the main PCB to the switch PCB at the top. Now this was a very small thin ribbon cable and unfortunately I haven't been able to get it. Now what I ended up doing was fully stripping the remote controller, and as you can see here we have the main PCB. I spent some time looking over this as well as the top switch PCB as well, looking at how it was laid out, and the top one was fairly straightforward with pins below each connector for the switches. Now when I was looking at the bottom of the PCB, I noticed in the bottom left hand corner you will see a load of little pads, and these are actually directly on the opposite side of the main connector that ribbon cable went to. So I spent some time looking over it and I managed to actually pin these out and work out how most of the inputs work on the DJI FPV remote controller. And what that allowed me to do is actually begin the process of rewiring it. Now the pin out works as follows. The top row and the middle row you can see here are the aux channels 1 to 4. When there is no grounded input on these pins, the aux channel sits at mid-range 1500 PWM. If you then ground the first pin on the top row, it will send the channel high, and if you ground the second pin down, it will send it low. And this is the same for each channel as you go along 1 to 4. Next, you will then see a ground pin located on the left hand side. You will then see the enter pin on the far right with the PWM scroll wheel inputs located either side, and then 2 inputs for the back button. Now I seem to find both of these worked, but the main input appeared to be the one in blue. Now what this did allow me to do is then begin to rewire the remote control to get it up and running. Now just switching over to the top PCB, this one is very straightforward. You simply have all the input connectors from the switch and the controls, and below each of the connectors you can see a little pad for each one on the left and right, and this is simply the output from the switch, and the way it works is it simply grounds the output when the switch or the connection is activated. So the first task was to simply put wires from every part of this main board ready to wire it down to the bottom one. Now, something to take into account is that these pads are absolutely tiny, so doing this isn't particularly easy. However, if you do have a very steady hand and some very thin wiring, you can actually get the job done. So it was simply a task of doing it all the way along until I had every one of the outputs connected. Once the top board was done, the next task was to start wiring to the pads on the bottom PCB. Now, these are tiny, as I have already mentioned, and it isn't the easiest job to do. I put the smallest nib I had on my IM, but I didn't have any additional magnification. It does take a little bit of moving around and a little bit of playing to get them all in place, but I managed to get it done in the end. Now, it does appear, whilst I was doing this, I did manage to cross a couple of the wires for the 3rd and 4th switch, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but I didn't actually find that out until after I'd completed it. As you can see, I was then all done, and the next task was to try it and test and see how everything behaved. Now, one thing that did become apparent once I fired it up is that I did have 1 or 2 little issues, so I did have to go back and forth and move a couple of the wires around to get it right. Once I had it the way I thought was working fine, it was then simply a task of making sure everything couldn't come off. So I decided to cover the PCB side in some hot glue, and then we did the same on the top side just to make sure sure that the wires would stay in place once it was put back together, and just make sure that everything was good. Now, the next task was to fire it all up and see how things were looking. Okay, so to give you guys a demo of what is working and what isn't, we've got my remote connected to the goggles and my aircraft connected to Betaflight on the screen as well. Now, just like before, my standard sticks all work as they did before because everything down worked. It was simply the switches and knobs that didn't. However, if you look now, I can move my aux channels. Aux 1 works. SB, which is aux 2, works absolutely fine. Aux 3 goes from high to middle, as does aux 4. However, this is where I've made a little bit of a mistake, or I've managed to catch 2 of the wires. It seems that the grounding wire for aux 3 and 4 are touching, because when I actually put aux 3 into the lower position, it kills both channels, and it does the same on aux 4. So what that means is I'm actually losing the output on both channels. Now, you will also notice that they're wired backwards as well. It's not a big issue for me, but it is something that didn't become apparent till after I had done it as well. I don't recall them being that way before, but I can't be 100% sure anyway. So aux 1 and 2 are working 100% fine. Aux 3 is fine in 2 position, down to 1500, as is aux 4. If I wanted to use one of these 3 as 3 position, I would just have to use one of them and ignore the 4th channel. Now, I also have my back button functioning as well as my menu button functioning as well. I can press it, enter the menu on the goggles, scroll through, hit back and come out of the menu as well. What isn't working is these buttons on the other side, because I wasn't able to figure out the pins for these. I was able to work out the button, but I didn't wire that one because I don't need it, but I wasn't able to quite work out what was going on with the wheel. Now, this does present a small problem in that when you go to calibrate the remote controller, it expects that wheel to be there and it expects to be able to pick up a signal and do it. So what that now means is, whilst I can calibrate the sticks, the overall calibration fails. I don't know if it's going to cause me any problems. So far from my testing, it hasn't. However, it is something I'll report back on if it does. But that is the basics, and I am back up and running. And as I said, you can see we've got my switches, so I can actually set it to arm. I can set one to flight mode as well. So it does mean we are back in action. And that is pretty much it. Now, as you can see, it is up and running, whilst not fully, and I do have that strange issue where I've managed to cross a couple of the cables on the last 2 ones, but as I have covered this in hot glue, I'm not going to completely strip it down again. The most important thing is it is functional and it is working, which means I can now use it. That is it for this video. If you've liked what you've seen, please do hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the little bell next to it as well. That way you will receive updates on any videos we put out in the future. Also, please do check out the links in the description of this video as well to the Dji Fpv system or any of the trusted vendors that I use as well. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I will do another video again soon.